comes first. This is ABC-7 Xtra.
Welcome to ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition. I'm Saul Saenz. Thank you for sharing your Sunday evening with us. The great mask debate reignites after Texas Governor Greg Abbott makes a bombshell announcement. The governor promised something big, and this is what he said that sent shockwaves across the state and the nation.
Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
Governor Abbott says although he's lifting the mandate, that does not end one's personal responsibility or the importance of caring for family members, friends, and others in your community. He acknowledges COVID has not gone anywhere, but now people have the technology and practices of how to conduct their own lives to protect themselves. But he says people don't need the state telling them how to operate. Still, it's a decision that has come under fire, including health officials and President Biden himself. Many are saying opening up the state 100% to businesses and lifting the mask mandate is premature.
And the last thing we need is the Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime, everything's fine, take off your mask, forget it.
Here to talk to us about all this, local restaurant owner and vice president of the Texas Restaurant Association member, Leo Duran. Also joining us is the co-owner of Aurelia's Bottle Shop and Brew House, Justin Gibson. Gibson has a full menu restaurant as well, but is choosing to keep the bar closed and will continue to operate at a limited capacity despite Abbott's new executive orders. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. And I'll start with you, Mr. Duran, since you obviously have contact with other bars and restaurants. What are they telling you about Governor Abbott's order? Are they excited or are they apprehensive?
I think there's mixed emotions, Saul. Quite frankly, the announcement, the governor's announcement, really, I think, caught everybody by surprise. We were, I guess, anticipating maybe to phase into 75% occupancy, and well, all of a sudden we were dealt the 100% occupancy, and then the second bombshell was, as you well know, the uplifting of the face mask mandate. But we are hearing mixed emotions, and I think for the most part, we are grateful as an industry as a whole that we're being given an opportunity to once again prove ourselves that we are going to be able to do this right and keep continuing to practice the safety protocols that have been handed forth by the CDC and also through the Texas Restaurant Association's promise guidelines on reopening safely.
Mr. Gibson, I just told our viewers that your situation is very unique and that you're taking personal responsibility with your business. And that, first of all, have you opened up your bar? And how are you on the face covering mandate?
Well, we're open full service. The only thing we have closed is our actual bar seating. And we did that because we felt like it made guests a little too close to our servers. Predominantly, that's where they spend the majority of their time if they're pouring beer or wine or entering orders. I mean, most of what they're doing, unless they're at a table serving, they're behind there. And so it just didn't really feel safe enough to be able to open that. But the rest of my restaurant, both sides of my patios, full-scale restaurant and beer and wine is being served all days except Monday, which we're closed for. But the mask mandate itself, yeah, it took me all of them out maybe like 5-10 minutes for us to figure out, yeah, we're going to continue in enforcing the mask policy. If there's someone that wants to come in that refuses to wear the mask, I mean, I'm not going to fight that person, but we're going to strongly encourage it. We're going to stand in front of the like what Mr. Duran just said. You know, we have these resources available to us, and we're very grateful for them. We have the CDC, we have the World Health Organization, these guidelines, these recommendations in order to adhere to that have proven now to be more than adequate in keeping my employees and my staff and and the guests that come into my restaurant safe.
Mr. Duran, as we were talking before we started recording, before we started with the program, is that on Friday we met the threshold to be able to open up some of the restaurants or the restaurants across the city at 75%, although the governor is saying that you can open up at 100%. What are businesses telling you? What are you doing? And what are other businesses that with your association deciding to do in reference to opening up fully?
Well, as of Friday, we met the threshold of being on a below 15% hospitalization rate here in our local trauma area, which is referred to as the TSA, Trauma Service Area I. And we met the thresholds where now businesses are able to open up to 75% from Friday moving forward up through next Tuesday, and rather Wednesday, I'm sorry. Wednesday it'll be up to 100%. However, one of the challenges that's facing everyone, including ourselves locally here, is the fact the workforce, the labor. It's not as easy just to flip that switch and to recall, 50% of your laid off employees. Some of them have gone to other box stop, big box stop jobs at Walmart, Target, etc. So even if we wanted to go into 100%, most of us are facing that challenge that it's going to take some time to phase into it. And it's quite frankly the right thing to do. As I've, indicated to some of my patrons and other colleagues, the takeaway from the last 12 months is what have we learned? We've learned a lot during this pandemic, and we continue to learn to navigate these uncertain times.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover everything that we've learned. We're going to take a really quick break, and we'll jump back into what it is that you believe that we've learned, okay? You're watching ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition. When we come back, we'll hear from local leaders, both the mayor and county judge. Question opening up 100% with no mask mandate. You're watching ABC-7 Extra, where news comes first.
Do you run a restaurant or other local business? As the expert on what your business needs to succeed, it's time to take your marketing into your own hands. Achieve your business goals with the tools at Local Links. Craft effective, powerful videos and commercials, and learn the secrets of great advertising so your message reaches your most valuable customers. Do it yourself with Local Links. 360-degree marketing solutions to power your success.
Visit borderlandlocallinks.com.
Great American Steakburger is El Paso's original steakburger restaurant, providing outstanding food and service based on the tradition of our founders since 1985. Our 2 locations on the east side at Yarborough and Montwood and on the west side at Mesa Hills near Sunland Park Mall have on-site, hand-cut, aged choice steaks, as well as an amazing selection of delicious seafood and, of course, our signature steakburgers. Dine in our family-friendly atmosphere or order to go and enjoy your favorite meal at home. Enjoy your next meal out with the Great American Steakburger family, El Paso owned and operated for over 35 years.
Introducing first, the Insurance Adjuster.
Y'all gotta learn how to settle for less. What I do.
Now, the man that needs no fancy introductions, Michael Gopin.
I want a good, clean fight. Hey, no funny business.
What just happened? Michael Gopin just happened.
Call the law offices of Michael Gopin right now. You'll be taken care of.
If there's any possible side effects?
You brought us important COVID-19 questions.
Registering for an appointment.
Saul Science found answers. A special edition of ABC-7 Extra took your concerns straight to the experts.
If you could ask the experts a question about COVID-19 and the vaccine, what would you ask?
If you missed it or would like to watch it again, watching this episode is as easy as opening the camera on your phone and pointing at the QR code on your screen. And remember to watch ABC-7 Extra Sunday nights at 10:35.
Welcome back. County Judge Ricardo Samaniego and Mayor Oscar Leeser spoke to the public following the governor's executive order. Leeser even sent a letter to Governor Abbott asking him to treat different communities based on their COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. Dylan McKim reports for ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition.
We don't have the government. We don't have the state saying that it's mandated, but nothing has really changed.
Mayor Oscar Leeser pleading with the community today to keep wearing their masks.
100% of the people wearing a mask today will be 100% of the businesses can stay open.
Starting next week, it's up to the people and business owners to decide who will wear masks and open up to full capacity. But the mayor had this to say.
We need to open our facilities responsibly and make sure that when we open, we're going to open at a pace that people are safe, but our team members are safe.
Mayor Leeser says city facilities will not reopen to full capacity and masks will still be required, and they're not the only ones.
Big box companies have said they will mandate that people wear masks as they come into their businesses, and it'll be important. They feel that our community is not ready.
Mayor Leeser also saying federally funded facilities will require masks.
Which means if you want to ride the Sun Metro bus, you'll need your mask. Also, if you plan on traveling to the airport, you'll need your mask as well.
It's really important that we see these things that will protect and continue to protect our community.
Mayor Leeser asking that everyone continue to do what helped the city recover from the worst times of the pandemic.
That people wear face masks in your establishment.
This is that letter that Oscar Leeser sent to Governor Abbott. In it, he tells him his own story, his personal story, that he lost his mother to COVID-19. And at the time, he didn't know that she had COVID-19, and his brother also went in to visit his mother without wearing a mask. He truly believes that had his brother been wearing a mask, he would be with us here today. Now, I also want to welcome back to ABC-7 Extra Sunday Edition, El Paso Chapter and Vice President of the Texas Restaurant Association, member Leo Duran, also owner of L&J's. Also joining us is the co-owner of Aurelia's Bottle Shop and Brew House, Justin Gibson. Gibson has a full menu restaurant as well, but is choosing to keep the bar closed and will continue to operate at a limited capacity despite Abbott's new executive orders. Welcome back, gentlemen. I want to start with you, Mr. Duran, because we left off. We were talking about some of the lessons that we've learned during this period, during the 1 year period, actually, since we've 1 year since we first got our first case. What do you think it is that we've learned?
You know, we've to be more responsible as far as the face mask. I think it is proven that it does greatly assist in the prevention. Now, as we do know, Dr. Fauci is calling for double masking. So, there's several things: hand washing, more frequent hand washings, hand sanitizing, making sure you're social distancing to the best of abilities within, parameters. We just have to be more social aware of our environment, and really education was key. And I think that that's one of the key points over the last 12 months was educating our customers, educating our staff, and how to go about sanitizing, disinfecting our establishments with high-grade, hospital-grade type chemicals in order to kill this coronavirus. Some of us have even gone to other extremes of placing hand washing sinks on the outside of our business and asking our customers to please hand wash before they go in, and also use the hand sanitizing station upon entering. So there's several things, and one of the other things is possibly the installation of a air purification system in your establishment, which is rather costly, but there are a few businesses that have done so to protect your staff and their families and our customers. This whole thing is really about the trust and the confidence that has been built over the last 12 months. Are we willing to give that up? We're not. I'm not. The majority of us are going to do, the required protocols to minimize any of these exposures. So we will continue to face masks, and we will ask our customers to do the same. I think we saw a poster or something recently on Facebook where it said, "No face mask, no service." Quite frankly, we're going to be polite on the way we approach our customers, because even to date, over the last few days since the governor's announcement, we've had a handful of customers that walk in, no mask, like, hello. And we've told them, and their first response is the governor said. No, not yet. It's starting next week. And even then, we're the governors of our own establishments, of our own businesses. We will implement those protocols necessary and required to make our staff and customers, their families, safe. Let's face it, our employees in our industry are of a younger age. They are considered essential workers. Well, to date, the majority, if not all of them, have not gotten vaccinated. I mean, I'm sure that they will hopefully fall in under a 1C category. Right now, we're dealing with the 1A, 1B categories. And so essential workers that we may be considered still hasn't quite, gotten down there. But we're going to wait till the majority of our employees are vaccinated so that we can help contribute to that herd immunity.
Mr. Gibson, you at any point in time were you ever forced to shut down because of a COVID case in your situation, or were you fortunate enough not to have to go through that?
It's interesting. Yeah, we just had a situation. We had gone this entire pandemic. We actually haven't been closed at all. I mean, even when we were forced to go to a to-go situation, we never stopped selling beer or wine. Even though my bar seating is closed, right? As I mentioned earlier, we're still a full-service restaurant and we'll continue to be that moving forward. But recently, we did have our first COVID scare. In hindsight, there was no spread, which I'm very proud of my team and the way that they handled that. But we did, because we were unsure of whether or not there was a substantial exposure, we did shut down for a week to get everybody tested and make sure that we all had negatives, and we did, so we reopened after those 7 days. But that did affect us, yeah. That was the first time where we were shut down.
Okay, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, Mr. Gibson, I'll be asking you about what you believe that we've learned during the pandemic and how you're going to implement that into your business. You're watching ABC-7 Extra. Still ahead, what message do Duran and Gibson have for other businesses? I'll ask. We'll be right back.
Experience what El Pasoans have for over 4 generations at Avila's, the best Mexican food in town. Our dining room is now open for lunch and dinner. Safe, clean, and always ready to serve. Avila's.
I just got a strange message asking me to verify our bank account number for a payment.
Weird. I got a call the other day asking me to do the same thing.
Must be a scam.
If a situation doesn't seem right, it might not be. Learn how to prevent fraud by knowing how to spot it before it happens at gecu.com.
The fillet of fish is completed with a half slice of cheese right on the bottom bun. One may ask, is its bun half empty or half full? We'd say the latter.
Enjoy even more with the deliciousness of 2 irresistible fillet of fish sandwiches for only $6. Only at McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso's flash sale is on all month long. Don't miss these price drops on over 400 new Hyundais. Like new 2021 Konas, flash savings $4,000 off MSRP. That's $4,000 off. And new Sonatas, flash savings $5,000 off MSRP. That's $5,000. And new Santa Fe's, not 4, not 5, but flash sale savings $6,000 off MSRP. Plus, get 0% APR for 72 months on select new Hyundais. Flash savings exclusively at Oscar Leaser's Hyundai of El Paso.
For 4 generations, Avila's has consistently served the same great Mexican food that has made us one of the best restaurants in the country.
Avila's always makes my family feel at home.
Bring your family to Avila's, where we pride ourselves on service and consistency for generations. Avila's, 6232 North Mesa.
Welcome back to ABC-7 Extra. Joining us now is Leo Duran and Mr. Justin Gibson. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us, especially on this Sunday evening. I want to start with you, Mr. Gibson. What are the lessons learned during the pandemic? We just heard Mr. Duran talk about a lot that we've learned during this pandemic and how to be actually more responsible with customers and for customers.
As Mr. Duran mentioned earlier, we have a wealth of resources that we've been able to apply with practice, right? Sanitation, proper social distancing, even, we all want to talk about mask off day. We all want to talk about the day where everybody feels safe taking off their masks. And even when that day comes, from a legality perspective or not, we know better now about how to mitigate the spread and the rate of spread of this virus. We know that, and for future viruses, for just keeping a clean and sterile environment for our guests and our staff, we know about the sanitation practices, these high strength chemicals, which as a brewery, we were fortunate to already have in supply. So, cleaning our stuff has been a little easier than most, I think. But like Mr. Duran said, it's these practices aren't going to go away once COVID goes away, because we know better now. We know how to clean and sterilize our equipment and our utensils, and we know how to provide a safe and sterile environment for our guests.
Yeah. There's always the possibility that the governor could backtrack or do a 180, because he's done this before, where he initially opened up restaurants and bars and then had to say, all right, maybe I did it too soon. I may have to go back and shut it down. We never know. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball. But let me ask you this, Mr. Gibson. Given all that, are you bracing for such a moment? And what are you telling other businesses, fellow breweries?
I have not talked to a single other business owner that didn't feel like this was a huge jump in a timeline. I don't think anybody expected this. I think it was very surprising to everybody that I've spoken to. I don't know what to expect. I mean, I asked my team and polled, and very quickly felt like, okay, this is the right method, to continue enforcing social distancing. In our industry, it's a little different, I think, because our guests, they sit at tables, they're not wearing a mask when they eat. So the only time that they would need to wear a mask is when they're traveling about the building. And it's even less important, I think, when they're eating outside, especially with crosswinds as we normally get them here in El Paso. But so I think because the mask as an idea and as a practice it is generally less important than walking around a retail space where you're wearing it 100% of the time as you're shopping, I think it will be easier to enforce for our businesses. But I can only speak as a restaurant owner. I don't know about the rest of that.
Yeah. Mr. Duran, what will it take for you to fully open? Because you do have a bar, and I know I've been there, and you have spaced seating and to try to protect the customers. What do you think it will take to fully open your bar, and what are you telling other members of your association?
Well, it's going to take time. Again, we're going to gradually phase into the reopening, which is what I would ask that we all do unitedly, so that, again, lessons learned would avoid us going back to what has, what's a possibility, but as far as the governor rolling back. But if we do it right this time, which we did it. But as we do know, there were some bad players, and it wasn't just locally, it was everywhere. I mean, it was just like, spring day in Texas. And things didn't go the way they should have. And I think we're all a little bit more responsible. We can't afford to take a hit in our pockets anymore. The restaurant industry, the bar industry, the hospitality industry was literally just about decimated. Had the governor not made this decision to allow us to reopen at this point, we would have probably lost a substantial number of businesses, not just locally in the state, but nationally. And I would venture to say that probably about 30%. So those that were hinging on closure are going to be given a breath of fresh air to possibly survive, and most likely survive. So doing it right, there's no other way. Doing it right on the reopening and gradually. So, it's going to take some time. Regarding the bar, our sales are about 20-25% in the bar, as opposed to 75% food. So we're going to focus still on the bar and making sure that things are not getting out of hand, because it gets a little easier to do so, I think, when you're in the process of consuming alcohol. And so we're going to just monitor it, and I think my colleagues are going to do the same thing. Those that we've spoken to, those that we've heard from on social media, they're not willing to take a slide back or step backwards. We've learned we need to move forward, and we need to prove it to our customers, to our community, that we are responsible and we're going to do the right thing. Because the bottom line, that trust and that confidence, customers are going to make up their mind where they're going to feel safer.
Mr. Gibson, in the 20 seconds that I have left, what will it take for you to reopen your bar fully?
I need to make sure that at least my front of house staff is either vaccinated or feels, or if we're doing certain things in place in order to change our bar layout so that we can reopen. But until I have a safe, sterile environment for my staff, that will be what's necessary.
Justin Gibson, Mr. Leo Duran, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us on the ABC-7 Extra Sunday edition.
Thank you, Saul.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good to see you, Justin.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Saul Saenz, and this has been ABC-7 Extra Sunday. Good night y buenas noches.
You're watching ABC-7, winner of the Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for continuing coverage.